On Tuesday the 30th of January, I created a 60-second guide to the detour that has been set up in Burswood Park near the causeway. I went through this detour again on Wednesday the 31st of January, and this video has been created to highlight several issues. 1. Just as I arrived, a cyclist went off the path and into the sand and crashed. He seemed to be quite shaken, but unhurt. 2. Shortly thereafterwards, I watched a rollerblader struggling to get through the detour without falling over. If she hadn't been hanging onto the fence, I don't know how she would have managed to make it from one end to the other. Thirdly, I then had to push a hand cyclist through the detour. Now, as you can imagine, people who no longer have use of their legs really struggle to dismount and push their bike through a sandpit. Now, the fourth thing is the setup of this detour has changed from yesterday. On Tuesday, there was only one path through the site, and now there are two. Now, whilst you might think it's logical to expect people to keep left and for those, to each be one way, plenty of people going through the detour were clearly confused and they took the wrong path, and so each side essentially became two-way rather than being one-way. Now, it looks like what happened in that instance is there's a section of sealed path which goes off to the right of camera here, and it's not yet open, but I think what this bloke did is he rode along that path for a bit, got to where he had to get off at the fence and went in the sand and crashed. Now, all the issues I'm about to show you, I think, could be remediated by what is right in front of us. See those blokes shoveling or sweeping? That's crushed sandstone or crushed limestone, and it makes a great base for shared paths and roads and all the rest of it. It also makes a great temporary path, so why not take a couple of ute loads of that, put it down over the sandy patch, get the roller out, roll it, wet it, compact it, and make a really good solid temporary path across there and get rid of the sandpit completely. I mean, that's the problem solved very easily. I don't understand why that hasn't been done so far. But for the next couple of minutes, let's just have a look at the traffic going back and forth across here. So there's the poor bloke that crashed, limping off, but he was okay. I did ask him. So we've got one cyclist pushing through here. And what you'll see is actually the majority ride back and forth. Now, whether you're able to do that is obviously going to depend on the type of bike you're riding, the experience you've had, and I guess what your skill levels are like going off-road. So if you're used to doing gravel riding or mountain biking, getting through sand like this is not terribly difficult. It might get worse as this sandpit gets more chopped up between over the next couple of days, but certainly when I looked at it on Wednesday morning, it was still rideable by most types of bikes, particularly mountain bikes, and if you don't have your tires pumped up to ridiculous levels. And also, so far, I didn't see anyone who missed those ramps. They're a reasonable width, but it would be easy to slip off the edge if you don't watch what you're doing. Scooter riders, maybe they didn't trust their luck going through the sand, and as you can see, that guy didn't do the most elegant dismount there. Yeah, I think pushing was probably a good idea. Now, this bloke wanted to ride up that section of new path there where we saw the bloke come off and crash, and I had to tell him, no, it's not open yet, there's a fence up there. There's no point trying to ride up there, you're not going to get very far, and you'll either have to go across the grass or turn around and come back. And he wasn't terribly complimentary about the state of affairs here. Used a couple of words that if I had the sound on, I would have to beep out. Yeah, not particularly happy. And look, here we have someone else who's tried out this new section of path, but thankfully they were sensible enough to dismount and push across the sand. I've actually ridden across that sandy patch myself on my bike, mountain bike, I can do it. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to be doing it on that bike with those wheels. So yeah, they had a bit of a discussion about the state of affairs as well. And again, I'd have to beep out what was said about the quality of this setup here. So anyway, he decided he would push his bike through and, all good. So someone else coming through, yep, they're going through with a reasonable level of confidence. Now, one thing to point out is there's now two lanes through here, and some well, is this the bloke? Yeah, he took one look at the path on the other side there and decided he didn't like that much at all. So he came out and went around the wrong way. And there were a couple of other people I saw doing that. I didn't catch them on camera because I was looking, there's people going in all directions. But yeah, there was a bit of, what do you call it, going the wrong way up a one-way street. Now, in fact, here's another example here. That bloke at the back, he's going the wrong way up the other side there because it's not super clear if you're going through here for the first time exactly what you're supposed to do. And you can see they're a little bit hesitant, coming through here, but they all made it through okay. Right, what else we got? Yes, here's our rollerblader, and just look at how she struggles to get through here. And look, there are signs that say dismount, but how are you supposed to dismount if you're a rollerblader? Do you sit down on the grass somewhere, unstrap your boots, take them off, walk through in your socks, carrying your boots? When you get to the other side, sit down, lace your boots up again? Is that what they're supposed to do? It's not just cyclists and pedestrians that are using these shared paths. There's rollerbladers and skateboarders and scooter riders and little kids on all sorts of things and hand cyclists. Okay, classic example. So how's this bloke supposed to dismount and then push his way through? Now, he was wanting to go up that new section of shared path as well. But I had to explain to him that no, that path is a path to nowhere and no point going across there. And I eventually got him to do a U-turn and then had to push him through the sand pit. And I've done that before doing, Cape to Cape race down at Margaret River, so, it's no problem for me. But look, just to recap, there's all that lovely crushed road base or path base there in front of us. Why not bring some more of that in, put it down over the sandy patch, get the water tanker out, wet it down, roll it up, a few times, and just make a really solid, firm, temporary path through here and get rid of the ramps and the sand pit and just all the other rubbish that's here. It doesn't need to go across the grass. It just needs to go across the sandy patch. So we don't have people doing stuff like that again in the future.